A light leak in the lower right corner of the screen was immediately noticeable when I first powered on the laptop, and it stayed right through the setup process against the blue background. It's still noticeable whenever I have a blue background or a gray screen, and disappears of course against white. Funnily enough, it's not visible against a black screen. Now this doesn't really bother me much, so I ignore it, but it is definitely a defect, and perhaps it's peculiar to just this piece. Now here's something peculiar. I purchased the iBall wireless keyboard and mouse thinking that eyeball to eyeball would offer me the best compatibility. However, the iBall dongle does not go easily into either of the USB ports on the Flip X5, and taking it out is even more of a struggle and a pain, not to mention the pain that you feel in your fingers. Speaking of compatibility, here's the funny thing. I next tried the Logitech wireless dongle, and that did go in with a little bit of a struggle, but not as much as with the iBall. This kind of stiffness is really unnatural. It's advisable to keep the laptop anchored down with your other hand while you attempt to put in a USB device into either of the ports or to take it out, and that's to prevent the laptop from slipping and getting away from you. Reviews of other laptops in the Compbook series reveals that this is a problem with the Exemplar and Excellence as well. So it seems to be an issue with the series itself and not just with the Flip X5. If one fine day you switch on your computer and find that the green LED light is on, but that there is no display on your screen, well, don't panic like I did. Just give a long press on the power button, sometimes for 15 or even 20 seconds, and you should see the display come back on. I have had occasion to use iBall's service. Now, one day while I was working on my review and recording my narration, suddenly the sound went and I could not hear anything. While Googling for a solution to this, I found that I wasn't the only one facing this problem. It is a problem with Windows 10, regardless of the kind of computer you have. Whether it's an HP or a Sony or a Lenovo or an Acer, it doesn't really matter. So anyway, I tried some of the solutions and actually ended up in a bigger mess because I seem to have completely lost the audio drivers altogether. So I went to the iBall website thinking I could download the drivers and install them. But not so. There is nothing available on iBall's website. So then I got in touch with customer care through live chat. I sent them an email with screenshots of the problem, and they promptly replied outlining a step-by-step procedure to completely reset the laptop. So I did that, but unfortunately, it did not work. The next morning, I received a call from iBall to find out if everything had gone fine. Since it hadn't, they recommended that I visit the service center so that the drivers could be reinstalled. Now, they explained that the drivers are not available online because iBall loads in a customized tablet OS onto the Flip X5. So this would have to be done only at the service center. Now, iBall doesn't have a very wide service network. In Bangalore, there is just a single service center on SP Road. And I have to say that I was really surprised. They handled my issue immediately, and within 15 minutes, it had been resolved. So that's really excellent. I mean, you visit the service centers of any of the big brands, and we all know how long it does take. But iBall, hats off to them. Excellent.